Barrier Fencing Supply is a fencing wholesaler and distributor based out of Supply, North Carolina. Whether you need fencing, fencing products, fencing accessories, or various other construction materials related to your fencing needs, we have the products you are looking for at today's most competitive prices around. Ask us today about bulk pricing packages. Call 910-269-8661. Contact us by email at sales@barrierfencingproducts.com. Barrier Fencing Supply, proud supporter of the Voice of Victory Lane podcast. Fans, and welcome back to another Inside edition of the Voice of Victory Lane podcast with Kip Thompson. Tonight's show is being brought to you in part by Barrier Fencing Supply out of Supply, North Carolina. Huge supporters of our show, and we're super excited to always have them to be part of our team. Tonight's show is also being brought to you in part by Atwell Exterior Services out of Greenville, North Carolina. Trevor Atwell and Team Atwell Racing. We'll hear from them tonight as we close out the show. Tonight, we're going to check in down at Holden Beach, North Carolina. Tonight is a night of first. And when I say first, it's a first-time guest here on our show, and he captured his first win on dirt this weekend inside the Fayetteville Motor Speedway. Let's go in and check in with Jeremiah Bolin, driver of the Team 316 Motorsports, Amsoil Trucking legend. Hey, Jeremiah, good evening, my friend, and welcome to tonight's show.
Good evening.
Hey, how's it going, man? Let's talk about this past Saturday night. What a great race that you drove. Started in third position inside second row, and throughout the race, man, you were able to capture the lead. And when you captured the lead, man, you never looked back and took the checker flag.
Yes, sir. I would have to give a big thanks to 316 Motorsports for the awesome car, and Mr. Duke for helping me get the car where I needed it. And, of course, Chad Groves and Tyler Seeley and Ryan Shaven for driving me clean the whole race, never making no contact, allowing me to capture that win.
Well, as that race progressed, I will tell you, now you had the 316 Motorsports ride on Kiel. It was very fast. And, you've been fast, throughout the season, but, still trying to get dialed into really your first season of racing. You've been starting out, earlier this season in go-karts and done a really good job there. But it's a really big, huge transition, to go from a go-kart into an Amsoil Trucking legend, because the speed's a lot faster, and, it's, starting side by side as opposed to go-karts, doing single file. But, as that race progressed, man, you had your hands full with that G1 of Chad Groves. And yes, I will commend Chad Groves and slap him a high five through tonight's podcast and tell him, hey, thank you, for the good, clean racing. And Chase Singletary, he was closing in there too. So let's talk about that, what it took to hold off that G1 of Chad Groves.
It took a lot. I could definitely tell he was there. I hit that rut going out of turn 4, and there was Chad Groves.
Yeah, well, I was hoping, because I'd said it before in talking with different people, you got a really good race car driver, man, to be this young. But the deal is, I've seen you maybe, honestly, in my own critique, over driving the race car a little bit, maybe a little bit, you want to prove too much, maybe a little bit too early there. But I will tell you, man, that it was just an unbelievable job. And, describe for the fans, for you to capture your first win on dirt as you come off of turn 4 and that checker flag is waving. Let's talk about that feeling.
It was honestly the best feeling I've ever had. I've always wanted that feeling. And, I watched Jaden dominate whenever he started racing. And I was like, I want that to be me. And he's like,
Well, definitely Saturday night it was you, and yeah, I like to think, with Jaden Bolin being your brother and, knowing the family the way I do, you come from pretty good stock right there, so that is really, really quite an accomplishment, to capture that first win. And, there's two things there that are really, really neat. To see you roll off of turn number 4 with a checkered flag in the air to take the win. I saw your hand out the window, man. I knew you were pumped, and it was just really, really cool to see. But let's also talk about, making that visit into Racing for Heroes Victory Lane, a place that is a very special place. Not everybody gets to go there. Everyone has that dream and the hopes of making it there. And when you parked that 316 and you opened up the door of that Amsoil Trucking legend and put your feet on the ground, let's talk about that feeling.
That was another good feeling. Got there and got to announce to everybody how the race went, and all the clean drivers out there, and just to be able to talk to the audience in victory lane was a good feeling.
Well, I'll tell you, I was talking with someone yesterday on Monday as we were recapping, the whole entire race and how special it was for me, because I've shared in two very special wins when it comes to Jaden Bolin and Jeremiah Bolin. So I was at that point the voice of Victory Lane in Racing for Heroes Victory Lane when Jaden Bolin in the 01 captured his very first win, and I was able to interview him on his first win. So for you took it the extra mile, man. You gave me a little something extra there. Not only was I able to interview you from the press box down in Racing for Heroes Victory Lane, I was able to call that race lap for lap, and it was really special. It means a lot to me and you both, I'm sure.
Yes, sir, it does.
Yeah, it's a really cool deal. And so let's talk about some of the people, man, that help you within that organization of 316 Motorsports. We've already mentioned, you did, Willie Ridenhour. Let's talk about that situation, man, because of the driver development program. There are a lot of people who kind of try it out, and maybe don't make the cut. They don't last. And man, you've kind of stood the test of time there and went through the the peaks and the valleys, and made some mistakes in a race car early on. But let's talk about that opportunity that those guys give you, and kind of what you've learned from Willie Ridenhour and that crew.
It was a struggle when I first started legend racing, but the more I listened to Mr. Willie and Duke and the crew chief, all of them guys, they really helped me, be able to do a good lap around the track and everything. And I'd like to thank them for the opportunity to drive a 316 Motorsports car, and for giving me a fast piece every single race.
Well, there's no doubt about that. I will tell you, you have to have some level of confidence whenever you sit in a 316 Motorsports car, because, it's going to be the best equipment. It's going to be set up. Ridenhour and his whole entire crew, that whole entire 316 Motorsports, they all have definitely good quality race cars, and there's great drivers through that organization. And now we again add your name to the list of those, and also capturing that win. It's a huge accomplishment for you. And I know as you go through the latter part of the season, we've still got a lot of good things left right here inside the Fayetteville Motor Speedway with the INEX US National Legends coming. That's going to be a real big deal for you. And let's talk about knowing that that's coming up, knowing that you've done it. Okay, you got the T-shirt, you got the win, you got the checkered flag, to keep forever, claiming that first win. What a confidence booster this must be for you, gearing up for the national event coming up at Fayetteville.
It is. I definitely looking forward to these next 4 races before Dirt Nationals, and definitely super excited for Dirt Nationals.
Well, it will be a huge event, because when it comes to Fayetteville, on any given Saturday night, I mean, you're racing with a lot of very, very seasoned veterans in the Amsoil Trucking Legends deal, no doubt. But this deal that's coming in November with the INEX Nationals, I mean, it's some of the best legend car drivers from across the country.
Yes, sir, it is. I've seen a lot of talent last year when I was watching.
Oh, absolutely. So beyond the INEX National Legend deal, what else is on the schedule for you in like 316 Motorsports, or will that pretty much be it for 2023? Or do you still have maybe some karting appearances that you'll be making, or kind of what's left for Jeremiah Bolin racing for the remaining part of 2023?
Well, I'm pretty much done with karting. I moved on from that. I got these next 4 races coming up, and then Dirt Nationals, and then there's another race November 25th after Nationals, and that should wrap it up for 2023.
Well, that'll be the Food Coma comeback. That will wrap up the 2023 season inside the Fayetteville Motor Speedway. And we're talking about what happened this past weekend. We're jumping a little bit around here, going to the INEX National Legend, but when you start talking about the other races, I'm assuming that you're talking about the annual kids race at the County Line Raceway, which is actually coming up this weekend. Is that where you're going?
Yes, sir. The race for kids, the 14th and 15th, and then the next 2 races will be at Fayetteville. and that'll be the 20th and 21st for the Halloween Havoc.
Yeah, well, that's going to be a huge weekend inside the Fayetteville Motor Speedway. But listen, don't discount any at all. 15th annual Race for the Kids, Elm City, North Carolina at the County Line Raceway. Hey, a racetrack for legends now. That racetrack's got a lot of character to it. That racetrack is the only way I can really say it and be real blunt about it. That place is hammered down when it comes to legends.
Yes, sir, it is.
You guys were there a couple of weeks ago, and I don't know. I guess that's your first trip to County Line when I saw you last time.
Yes, sir, it was.
Now, what did you think about that racetrack as opposed to Fayetteville? A lot of similarities, but still different, isn't it?
It's still a racetrack, but the bike they had in that track, it took me a little while to get used to. I can't remember exactly where I started, but I think I started around 22nd in the main. And managed to work my way up to 6th place for the checkered flag.
Yeah, well, that is a great racetrack. And I will tell you, it'll be, white knuckles, gripping the wheel real hard, elbows up. Again, that is a really great racetrack to go race at because, that racetrack, the way it's kind of configured, it's almost like you're sideways more than you are straight because of the configuration of the racetrack. But Jimmy and Brenda Holcomb, the people who own that racetrack and their track crew, always deliver a great racing surface, a lot of character, a lot of bite. And, at some point, you can go in there and hope you've got the race car set up. But sometimes the driver has to show up just like you did this past Saturday night at Fayetteville. Let's talk about when the car don't feel right, but what you've got to do to kind of keep her straight.
Well, we went through they gave us a couple hot laps, and then going into qualifying, the car was a little loose, so we snugged it up for the main. We kind of waited to see what the track was going to do, and we made the final decision to tighten it up a little bit. And I think I could have used it tighter during the main, but once that right rear got hot, it was loose on exit.
Yeah, well, that's a good deal. And so as we get ready to exit tonight's show, we're going to give you an opportunity. Anyone else, man, you want to give a shout out to? Anybody else you want to thank, that has been along with you since day one that has brought you to where you are today?
Yes, sir. Well, then again, 316 Motorsports, Willie Ridenhour, Mr. Duke for helping me last weekend, and my grandma, my mom, my pops, my brother. They all supported me along the way and gave me tips throughout my whole career.
Yeah, well, it's an awesome sight to see, to look down in Racing for Heroes Victory Lane, to see you capture that first win. Man, I really enjoyed sharing that with you. It was like living it all over again when Jaden Bolin, your brother, captured his first win. And, I love the relationship, that we all have as friends. And, it's kind of cool whenever you go to the racetrack, and whether it's Jaden running or Jeremiah, and now it's Jeremiah and Jaden in the same place, it's like a whole village, man. It's like a whole group of bowlings there, and man, it must be awesome, to feel that kind of support from your family.
It is. I've always wanted to race with Jaden on the racetrack, and now it's all coming along.
It's a little bit different than doing it on iRacing, isn't it?
It is a lot of difference.
Well, you guys put on a great show this past weekend inside the Fayetteville Motor Speedway. Race fans, that is Jeremiah Bolin, driver of the 316 Motorsports Willie Ridenhour Driver Development Program inside the Fayetteville Motor Speedway this past weekend. It was a great show. If you weren't there, you missed it. And Jeremiah Bolin, when we dropped the green flag, little did we know that history was in the making. Jeremiah Bolin, for the first time in his racing career, parks it in prestigious Racing for Heroes Victory Lane and captured the checkered flag. And hey, Jeremiah, we want to say one more time, man, congratulations to you. Thank you so much for being on the show tonight, and we wish you the best of luck in the INX Nationals coming up at Fayetteville and all of the other events that you still have left for 2023. Best of luck from all of us here at the Voice of Victory Lane podcast.
Yes, sir. Thank you all, and thank you all for your support.
All right, folks. Again, that's Jeremiah Bolin, driver of the number 316 for 316 Motorsports. I'm Kip Thompson, the host of the Voice of Victory Lane podcast. As we close out tonight's show, we're going to hear from Atwell Exterior Service and Trevor Atwell, along with Team Atwell Racing. We thank them so much for being a part of our team and for them sponsoring our show. And we thank you for watching. Hey, and we'll close tonight's show like we do every other show. Be on the lookout. We could be coming to a racetrack near you, and you could be who we're talking about next, right here on the Voice of Victory Lane podcast. Thanks for watching, and good night, everybody.
Atwell Exterior Services and Team Atwell ride with a winner. Congratulations to Trevor Atwell and the team at Atwell Exterior Services in Greenville, North Carolina. Atwell is the top-rated roofing and exterior renovations company in racing country, and Team Atwell has sponsored so many great racing teams for years. Ride with a winner on your roof or on the track. Atwell Exterior Services. Atwell Exterior Services and Team Atwell Racing. Ride with a winner.